And to be honest, the extent of my dream was just, create this nice space and let's see how it goes. Well, that was towards the end of 2007. As everybody knows, in 2008, the world economy tanked. Mm-hmm. And what happened was law schools and bar associations all over the country were dealing with, law schools with thousands of graduates who had no jobs. Bar associations were desperate to develop new membership. And in 2008, I was contacted by the New York Times, and a reporter wanted to take a look at this project. And I was kind of surprised that the New York Times would be interested in this little program for 9 lawyers. But a reporter came, interviewed the clients of the lawyers involved, interviewed the lawyers, and it was supposed to be an A1 front page story on the New York Times, but there was a primary election that resulted in pretty major news in New York State, and the article was bumped from A1 to the local section, but it was a New York Times article. And once the Times reported on it, CNN headline news called me in to talk about this, and I couldn't believe it. It just seemed to me like this was nothing that I envisioned, that this idea, this concept would begin to take on a life of its own, but it did. And so, I do have to just emphasize that this was not a nice training program for lawyers. It was a program that was designed specifically for lawyers who were interested in creating law practices in underserved communities in New York City. Mm-hmm. We knew that most everybody else would finally get a job in maybe a small firm or a firm or wherever, and someone would help them to develop their skills. But people who really wanted to do the right thing in their underserved communities didn't have that. They didn't have necessarily the godfather or an uncle or an aunt in the courts, so they relied on us.